Alright, so I'm doing a review on this Outbound, I guess, Rucksack. It did really good. See the company logo there. The straps were super comfortable, even though I was hauling so much gear up there. They're super thick pads, you can see there. And that was basically the reason why I picked this pack out when I was at the store there. There was one that was a bit cheaper that was a little bit smaller, and it had a frame as well. This one has a internal frame. It's not a very thick one, but it does the job well. It's aluminum. And the shoulder straps, nice and thick as well, you can see there. So that was really comfy. I never had any problems with my shoulders being sore from hauling the pack around. And the waist belt is really nice on this one. I did have one failure of the bag, and that was the clip for the waist belt. So this end worked well, didn't break or fail, but the other side, it did snap. It's supposed to have 3 posts, and then the webbing webs through it and snakes back, so it will hold tight when you clip it in and out. That snapped. So on trail, we had to tie it, and I was actually so tired I didn't even think about tying it this way. I was going to tie it, just the webbing to the other side of the webbing, and tie that together, but my 2 cousins had the idea of actually lining the belt up where it would sit on my hip, and then tying this part, this end in, while still using the clip to clip it in still. So that was great. So thanks Steve and Dave, that's good. So I guess if you do buy this bag, maybe look into getting a spare clip from a outfitter store, or possibly a metal clip, because they're plastic. So they do hold for a bit. I actually got 2/3 up the trek. 5 hours total, but the first 2/3 only took us, I think, 3 hours, and the last one in the snow was 2 hours. So I hiked for 3 hours, and it was fine, and then it broke from the pressure and whatnot, which obviously if you want a rucksack, you want that to last forever. So that was the only failure of the bag, but it did really well for balancing out the weight, and even after the belt snapped, the pads are still super comfortable. So I was still able to hold it on my shoulders and have no pain on my shoulders due to the pad and the internal frame. It's just that the weight shifted and it wasn't balanced between my shoulders and the belt. It was just in my shoulders now, but it was still pretty comfortable. A little bit heavier feeling because it was all on my shoulders then. The basic layout of the bag, it's going to be a little bit harder to see here now because it's collapsed, but you have a top pocket that loops down, and it covers everything from your main tube. So you have a sort of tubular pack in here, and then you have a cover that comes over that to cover it up. You have a pocket on top, so I put all my things I grabbed right away up there. So this pocket has some webbed mesh in it, so you can hold things in there that you want to get lost. It has some Velcro to strap it down, which is nice. It's fairly waterproof, nothing got really wet. I did have dry bags inside, obviously holding my clothes and my food and stuff that was essential, but stayed pretty dry. This pocket stayed dry, even with the rain on it, and I did have a bag cover. So you see the main tube part has its own drawstring, so it can draw up, and that cinches down to cover your backpack or your sleeping bag or whatever you have inside the main chamber. It has a clip to clip it all together as well to hold it tight. And this is a 65-liter bag, so it's quite a large bag. You can hold most of your things, and it has the ability to become a little bit smaller for cinching up. So it has a zipper that runs the length of the bag on both sides. So if you want, you can close this to make the bag a little bit tighter. If you don't want to have the whole 65 liters, it will close up a bit. You have side pockets. Still have a can of Spam in there, looks like. That was half tasty, half disgusting. Let's see what else we have here. We have the lower pocket. So once you get to the lower part of the tube, it has another cinch bag, so it cinches up. So the entire part of the tube is basically closed off. with the 2 cinches, and pretty watertight. Nothing in there was wet. That was great. And you have a lower section, so you put more supplies in here, lock it back up. It has straps, obviously, that strap this up. And it has these side straps. So as you saw in the video when I had the large tarp here on the side, you can loop these straps over to secure things, and those are on both sides. So the bag's basically twinned, so everything that's on one side is on the other side. Yeah, overall, I would give this bag 4.5 stars, maybe. It's fairly light. It did come with a bag cover, which I actually didn't know about. And that bag cover is tucked in the bottom, so I thought it was just a padded section in the bottom to keep your stuff dry. But actually down here, there's some Velcro, and the bag cover sits in there. So I was using a contractor bag for bag cover. It actually does come with a bag cover, which is great. The only downside was that clip that broke, and other than that, it holds everything you need. It's fairly lightweight, has the internal frame, super comfortable with the foam, or with the padding, and yeah, that was a pretty decent bag.